This recording is part of the EduX Festival, which is a celebration of teaching and learning at the University of Exeter. Each session links to the education strategy. In this case, we're looking at learning reimagined and graduates of distinction. I've also mapped the UK professional standards framework, looking at A1 and A5, so designing and planning our programs and engaging in CPD activities. And then in terms of professional values, V3 and V4, using evidence-informed approaches and acknowledging the wider context in which higher education operates. So how am I going to deliver these three intended learning outcomes? Well, I'm going to do that through what I've learned through the Exeter GIS network. I aim to, one, help you discover the benefits of students working with alumni. Two, identify mutual benefits in working with students and alumni in a supportive, lifelong learning alumni network community. And three, help you to develop a strategy to engage with and to connect with alumni. And I'll do that through showing examples of how I use applied methods in my teaching. You're helping alumni to talk to students about identifying the skills gap, discovering opportunities, and supporting students, and then finally looking at growing and managing a network. So I'll start with by looking at applied methods. In this case, I'm referring to developing the teaching as well as the assessment of a module. So we have a lot of work already in research-inspired learning. This working with alumni, we can engage much more with workplace-inspired learning, working with alumni to co-design course content. So talking with alumni about some of the skills that they're applying in their roles and how you can feed that into your course design. So one of the examples that I'm showing here on the right is a national forest recreation points for inspection. In this case, an alumni had a national data set and they wanted to create a grid over just where they had points of data and then give that smaller data set to their field force. It's a great example of a type of task that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of, but something that is a real world sort of workplace application. So using a slightly different data set, in this case looking at recreation points, it's an open source data set. I tasked the students with doing just that. So it was an opportunity for students to apply the skills that I taught them, in this case, in a sort of consultancy style role, developing a map series for a customer. And it kind of follows to this kind of higher education discussion of authentic assessment. And if you want to have a look at the example, I've got a link here to a student story map. Have a look at the Forest Asset Map series. If you want these links, then open the PDF in the link below this recording. Identifying the skills gap. So working with alumni, well, they're in a position where recent graduates are often at the cutting edge, applying what they have learned in their degree in diverse sectors beyond research or education. So just talking with alumni about what skills are sought by employers or what skills are you utilizing, applying in your current role, getting them to reflect on the program they may have studied recently. And so helping you identify the skills gap in terms of what is missing from the existing program in terms of what's sought after by employees. The reason for the GIF on the right is maybe 5 years ago or so, I was struggling to get students to see the benefit in using Python. And so I reached out to my network, asked them a question about Python skills, and that fed into my teaching to help inspire the students. Let me show you. So I simply just asked them a question: how strong must one's Python programming skills be to get into a GIS-related career, and what other skills are essential? And I asked the alumni just to post what role they were in and then some tips. And we got responses from all sorts of different GIS consultants and analysts, just helping students identify that, or just giving them another voice, that these skills are important in the workplace. So yes, they might not be essential, but they're often desirable, and so having that sort of understanding. And that was like a common thread of most of these answers. Whilst not essential, they are very useful, and that really enabled the students to identify these opportunities, beyond just my voice. Kind of links with discovery, but having a strong alumni network allows you as an educator to discover what is changing in the sector, and helps you discover sort of career paths. Again, enabling students to identify career paths, but not just that, just inspire them, let them discover these career opportunities. And certainly is the case in this sector, in the sector of GIS. There are jobs that exist that probably didn't when students signed up to the course that they were on. Also, I'm finding that in the alumni network, we're having alumni post opportunities. So, share this grad scheme, grad application, as well as resources, which is really boosting employability. We've seen a lot more students go on to grad schemes and apply for grad schemes as a result of sharing some of these adverts within the network. And the network consists of alumni, but also final year students. And what we're looking at here on the right is a recording of an alumni doing a technical showcase at a GIS conference. So allowing students to see alumni presenting the latest technologies and allowing students to sort of relate to that and say, oh yeah, that could be me maybe. Inspiring our current students. So that's that first example there. This presentation was looking at the significance of spatial distributions, and then there's an example here of biodiversity mapping, an alumni sharing a blog on how to apply some of these skills in a particular area. So the network really allows you to share best practice, cutting edge developments, and new and exciting applications and methods. The network offers lifelong learning and support. It really is one of the most rewarding parts of my job now, is to engage with alumni, and they're inspiring me. And it's become such an obvious thing that the students are with us for such a short time, that they are alumni forever. And so keeping in touch with alumni, following their career paths, letting them link in with students. In the picture on the right, you see students presenting to alumni at a GIS conference, but quite often that's the other way around. We'll have alumni come in and talk to students on our programs, and as well have alumni to alumni exchanges, offering and sharing opportunities, not just for grad schemes, but more senior positions, so that there is a support network for future career development as well. That feeds into that support network. Which shares ideas and best practice and allows users of the network to promote opportunities and resources. A couple of examples here of final year students sharing the skills portfolio, an e-portfolio promoting themselves and the skills and their applications, and then a follow-up of a postgraduate skills portfolio sharing further developments. And that's beneficial to the person sharing it. It's developing links, but also for the alumni to see what these students are developing and what skills they are applying. Finally, I'll finish up by giving tips on managing a network. For me, it became clear that it was important to have a space for posting and sharing some of the activity. So I set up a LinkedIn page, which has over 280 followers at the moment, active with alumni and final year students. And it's a place for students to offer support, and they have that shared experiences of graduating from Exeter. Most of what we do in higher education is inclusive. In this case, it's an exclusive group. It's made up of only alumni and students. Why? So that it's kind of instantly got that safe place where students and alumni have that shared experience, a friendly face to sort of go to seek ideas or professional development and share those experiences. It offers a personalized approach, like most of us take on a sort of personalized approach to our teaching. The network is the same. It's run by me, and it links to students and alumni, and offers students to connect with them. So I might have students come to me and saying, "Oh, I'd like to explore what GIS opportunities there are in the environment sector." I can point them to this LinkedIn network and say, "Well, have a look at these alumni who are doing similar work," and reach out to them and start a conversation with them about their experiences and their tips and what opportunities there are in the sector, or indeed in their current workplace. We do have an annual meeting, which is an in-person meeting. It's a springboard to collaboration. It also allows me to include final year students. In our case, we have final year students presenting a technical showcase to our alumni. And it allows you to engage with final year students before they've disappeared. So they're in the network before they've gone. And that's one of the take-home tips for developing a network, is to capture the students just before they leave. And that really helps speed up the growth. But also there's that mutual benefit to all those involved. The students benefit, they get to really have a professional experience of presenting to alumni, and the alumni benefit because they get to hear about some of the new, most recent developments that are going on in the teaching and learning as part of the program. So there's a link to the Exeter GIS network. Do check that out if you want to follow up on some of those ideas. I hope you found that useful. Please get in touch, either by sending me a message or writing some feedback in the comments section below. Thanks very much.